and welcome to Office Hours with Dr. G. I'm your host, Dr. G, and I'm so glad you can keep our appointment. Now, I've been waiting for this guest for a little while to come on, and happily, tonight, I get a chance to kick it with her, and you get to listen in. Tonight's guest, Chung Diana Bey, is an outspoken and unapologetic sister, especially when it comes to nationality and birthright. Born in Baltimore, Maryland Republic, she's a member of M.S.T.A. Temple Number 43 in the California Republic, where she has domiciled for many years. A mother of 5 and grandmother of 1, Chung is the creator and owner of Moor Magic, an app she projects will employ millions overnight, which is set for a spring 2022 release. Now, in addition to being an entrepreneur, Chung Diana Bey is an avid investor, an herbalist who has demonstrated strong psychic abilities since childhood. And just when you thought you knew all there is to know about Chung Diana Bey, you'll be intrigued by her account of the automobile accident and near-death experience at the age of 21 that changed her life. A show-nuff bringer of truth. In her own words, Chung Diana Bey says, "I'm so blunt, you can smoke my truth. I am the Lotus Flower." Can you help me welcome to Office Hours with Dr. G, all the way from Cali, none other than Chung Diana Bey. Greetings, sis.
Greetings, peace, Islam family. How's everyone doing today?
You gotta rock a little bit when the music is still on. If you gotta, hey.
You know I like to get it pumped.
Yeah. we get a chance to rock a little bit. You she.
That's how we do it.
That's it. How you doing?
I am so good, and I'm with Dr. G. I love you so much. I'm telling you, you're the dopest. You bring that fire. Let me tell you, I love you. I do. So it's an honor. It's definitely an honor.
I'm the way out senior citizen. I don't know how to stay in my lane.
Don't do that.
I don't know how to stay in my lane. Listen. It is an honor and a privilege and excitement to have you on the show, because I don't know how many of those in the audience know you from Facebook, but girl, you bring the fire. And when I first started hearing about you, I was like, ooh, she scares me. Oh my goodness. Is she? Ooh. And then I wanted to get you on the show. And then I was like, she probably won't want to come on the show. And then we had that fateful day that I happened to catch one of your lives on Facebook, and you were going off as usual. Everybody that, dirty Moors and people that weren't ready for what's coming and all this stuff. And I was like, I think I said something. I made some kind of comment or something, and you acknowledged me. And then, your psychic gift kicked in, and it was like all she wrote. And I was like, then I started.
Yes.
I was getting embarrassed. I said, all these people been on for all this time listening to her, and now she's going in on me and telling me all these things.
Oh, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about that.
Look at my hair. Look, I got plaits in my hair. I got a week. I got a week before I can take my 2-strand twist out. So I decided I'm just going.
I love those. I'm trying to get them myself actually, so I can do less. I don't have to do too much. Yeah. But that particular day was really massive because, like I said, when you showed up and you were on the live like everyone else, literally just an explanation, just real quick to break it down. When she was on the live and I just happened to be scrolling through and I was answering comments and things like that, I saw Dr. G. And right when I seen that, I kind of like almost get ready to keep going. But literally, and y'all not gonna think I'm crazy, but literally angels showed up for her, and they kept saying around the world, around the world, and you just kept hearing like this chant going on. Like soon as I touched her name, it was around the world, around the world, and they was literally going like around the world. They had, they were sitting just like royalty, and it was just massive. That's all I can explain. And they were just saying around the world. So I told her that they were just saying around the world, and I was like, I don't know where you're about to go, but maybe a show is about to go around the world, and you're about to be like literally global, and it's getting ready to happen. But someone was saying like in my ear that you had to get rid of something because it's about to be massive, but there's some things still I need to let go, for everything else to come in and just take place and just flow effortlessly. So like she was already there. She just had to like get that little, the hangnail. She need to get that rid of that so she can flourish. And what made it so massive was like she called me. Well, we connected right after, and then she was telling me her story, and you were telling me your story and everything, and I was just like, wow. I was just like, I know what I heard, but to hear you say that, was just, I don't know. It's always, it kind of make you feel some type of way when you always get the confirmation. It's just like you always need to hear that confirmation, and
Yeah,
you gave it to me right then, and I was just like, yeah, it's getting more and more powerful now. Like where I'm really able to see it right then. So yeah, you s-
well, that
you
was the
are
start of
special.
us.
Sure.
Yeah, that was the start of us, connecting and then conversing and so forth. And you know how you think, you give one impression. Sometimes people get a certain impression of who you are, who they think you are. And
Right.
anybody that knows Chung Diana Bey know that, like, my grandmom and my mother used to say things like, they don't take no tea for the fever. And that's the way that's definitely the way I see you. But I also see you as warm and caring and very, like I said, very gifted and talented. Because a lot of times folks will see you. You got your what they call them things that that Monique say don't wear. Um,
Oh, the bonnet.
you got your bonnet on. You in your truck, and you are getting. I mean, you are you.
Early,
Matter of
that's
fact,
the early morning. That's that early morning. I gotta tell y'all this something.
it
Y'all
be
gotta hear this.
it be dark, and
Oh,
you in your
dark
truck. Yeah, you in the truck, and you are just spitting it about, where we are, about nationality and birthright, and
Mhm.
just, investments and different things that folk need to be doing in order to be ready. And sometimes you rub folk the wrong way because they can't. You're one of those folks that, if you don't have a strong if you have a weak constitution, and you get your feelings hurt easily,
Right.
somebody would be offended and miss all of the great, awesome, information that you share, because you just have your way.
Yeah.
You have your way of coming across. And like I said, when I first heard you, I was like, ooh, I like her, but ooh, I'm scared of her. Ooh. And then, when we actually connected, totally different story. But
Hmm.
you got it. Sometimes the persona is also protection,
Yes.
because yeah, it be protection. But
Yeah.
let's go back a little bit and talk a little bit about you. So you were born and raised on this side of the U.S., on the East Coast. My mother was also born in They call it B More,
Be
right?
more.
Be
Be
More.
more
So
careful.
yeah, got to be more careful. So you tell us about your upbringing yeah. Were you anywhere in the Wire area?
Yes, actually, my grandmother lived over there off of the 33rd and Alameda, which is where the old Orioles Stadium used to be before I went to Camden Yards. So we used to always go to the Orioles games all the time, at least during the season, twice a month at least if we could, right down the street. So, which is also down the street, which is Morgan State University is also
Mhm.
down the street from where I was raised. So, yes, Northeast Baltimore is where I'm from. And I actually lived in Aberdeen, Maryland for some time, at the age of 6 years old, all the way up until maybe about 12 years old or so, 12 or 13 when I left. My mother was a court marshal. She worked in court martial. She was a stenographer straight from the Marine Corps. So she went there and she did court martials. And so I lived off the base there, and I grew up there for a while, but I would always go back to Baltimore at least, twice a week. I would go there on the weekends with my grandmother because her house is still there, even though she's passed on. The
Mm-hmm.
family still takes care of her home. So that's still there. And I went to foster care when I was 14. My mom put me up. I didn't even see it coming. It was really a surprise. I went to school, and right before seventh period, I got called down to the office just to be told that I was not going to be going home. So I didn't know how to act, didn't know what kind of question to ask, but I was scared for my life. But I wound up going with my sixth grade English teacher. That's who wound up being my foster mom. And so she only took teenage girls. So she had a nice big home in Bel Air, Maryland. And Bel
Oh,
Air was like
that's an upper, yeah.
yeah, she because her husband was a pastor, so she was also a first lady. But she had been in the school district for many years. I think she was hitting the 35 year mark. She was an old woman, but she was very calm, very sweet. She's passed on since I've been out here in California, but that was my foster mother for a little while, and we had a connection even past this when I was in her class for sixth grade. So by this time, I'm 14 years old. I'm not really a problem child, but I was mischievous. I was the only child. So I was getting into a lot of things, run away from home a lot. And my mom, she worked like 80 hours a week. So she couldn't always be there, which caused me to get into not really like law trouble, but just not really doing what I'm supposed to do. So I guess she just gave up. But needs to say, I went to got involved with I guess you could say the wrong girls there. Often, in the school area when I was going to school out that way, and they was like, yeah, the way to get out the system is to get pregnant. So that's what I did. I got pregnant, which is my 27-year-old daughter now. Uh, I got pregnant to get out the system. Uh, I didn't want to stay in the system as a foster child, so I challenged the judge and I asked him, I said, I'm 16, I'm pregnant, and I think I can do this by myself. My mom taught me how to balance a checkbook. I know how to pay bills. She taught me how to do a lot of things. So I said, I want to be able to do this on my own. He gave me 90 days to prove myself, and then he emancipated me. So I was emancipated at 17 years old. I was able to operate as an adult, and I was able to. I had my own place. I lived out probably like 30 minutes from Maryland, over there in Rosedale, Maryland. I got my first place, a 2-bedroom townhome. It was like $450 a month back in those days. But I made it work. I made it work. I got married at 19, um, which was by those children. All my children from before my young one now are by the same father. So I wound up marrying him at 19, but it was very abusive. Uh, that was even before I came out here. I never knew who my father was. My mom was adamant about not telling me who my dad was. So, uh, uh, for years, I had been looking for him. Didn't know who he was, but she did tell me. She was like, I can tell you that he was born. He's this age, and that this is his name, and he was last seen in Los Angeles, California." So I kept that information. I tried when I was 16. I failed trying to find him, and I didn't try again until I was 26. Yeah, I was 26. It was 2003. I'll never forget it. And like I said, I've been very through abusive relationship in my marriage. I had 4 children by my ex-husband. He was very abusive, and I went through a lot of things. I had to at a very young age. So, with that being said, I always want to know who my father was. I wound up writing a letter to Maury Povich. Maury Povich uh, did find my dad for me. However, I wasn't on the show because of my background of my father, and that wasn't going to happen because he works in the federal background. He's a federal law enforcer, retired. So that wasn't going to happen. But I got all my information that I needed from my father, and I went on to call him. So he gave me all the numbers that I had to contact my father. I called him, and that was February 2003. I moved out here May 2003, and I've been out here ever since. Uh,
Wow. How was
Yeah,
that reunion with your father
it
after
was
having never known him until you were an
it was
adult?
weird. It was weird. You know why? Because my mom always said so many bad things about him, but it was like when I came over here, believe it or not, it wasn't straight meet and greet like that. Actually, my sister wound up calling me when I was still in Maryland, and I was, calling him, and she wound up calling me. I came to find out I was one of 11 children from his end, and that they knew about me but didn't know me. So it was, like a pleasure to meet me. Come to find out, she and I were like maybe 14 months apart, and we have very similar lifestyles. We both have 4 children. We were married. Just our lives were just, except she was a military wife. So that's really
Mm-hmm.
the only thing difference. She winded up, we wanted to meet so bad. So she was stationed in Oak Harbor, Washington. She wound up flying me out there, me and my family. Uh, I wound up having one of those. What was that movie? And was it Waiting to Exhale, where she sold all her husband's shit, all of
She
it.
burned. She burned. Well, she had stuff. She had the
I didn't
bonfire.
burn nothing. Yeah, I didn't burn it. I just had a flash sale, but I got rid of everything. I didn't. Don't lie. I gave away 3 cars and one in Lincoln Navigator. I literally gave that away. I signed it off, so they can go ahead and get the pink slip to it, and whatever was left off, I just gave to my friends and just told them to hold. There's actually one particular painting that a friend of mine still has. She has it in her basement. It's it's worth quite a bit of penny because it has real diamonds in it. It was made. Um, in Zimbabwe, and it was sent to me. And I said, I can't take this on the plane with me because it was almost as tall as I was, and it was of what they used to call a blackamoor, but I didn't really understand what that even was back in the day until
Mm-hmm.
as I got older. So it was really crazy how things in the past was really coming back. But yeah, she still has that piece. She told me probably a couple months ago she still has that. So
Wow.
that was amazing. Yeah, it's been 18 years.
Yeah. Wow. So okay. I mean, we're gonna flip back and forth because because I want folks to know, especially the people that just see Chung, this Chung, the Chung that's like, I mean, you're
Yeah,
not frightened physically, but you're like, you know, you need to go back,
that
follow her
dark.
on
You start
follow her
laughing.
on Facebook and find some of your lives, especially those early morning lives, and
Yeah, they were like,
get
ugh.
some
I
popcorn
can tell them.
and get some popcorn and put your feelings in your pocket. Don't worry about
Please,
it. Just listen. Just
please
listen.
leave
Yeah.
the emotions away.
Right. Because, and I told you, and I mean that, and I told you I really absolutely want you to be yourself. She says she's gonna try to tone it down, just for the sake of my channel not going down or something. But that's the reason.
Respect. It's
Yeah,
respect.
yeah, out of respect. But like I said, you're one of those people where I think some folks say, look, I'm not cursing you, and I'm not cussing at you. I'm just cussing to get my point. I'm just making my point.
Yeah,
It's a strong point. and
yeah,
I and that's the way I see you, because I think at the heart of you, what I see is that you want people to get it. You want people to get off the either, like I say, it's painful straddling the fence. Like,
yeah,
and they used to say, you need to or get off the pot. Either you is or you ain't. And
right.
I see you as a person that is really, you're at your heart, and in your heart that space, you want people to be in right standing. You want your people to win.
Right.
You want your people to win. And if you have to be, hardball and like I said, blunt with your
Yeah,
truth, then that's what you do in
right.
order to get people to actually maybe say, wait a minute, wait a minute, let me listen to what she's saying, because she keeps
Yeah.
saying the same thing. You keep
Yeah,
saying
is it
it.
resonating with your spirit? Like, I mean, are you feeling anything? Because, yeah, you're going to get mad. You're going to get angry. I'm not going to sit here in front and say, when I ask you, are you mad yet? Because that's the first, there's levels to the shit, really. There really is.
Yeah,
As far as like getting to the full, the piece of it, you're going to go through anger once you realize, wait a minute, what you say? I want a what? I want a blockchain. Wait a minute, what you say? Hold up, hold up. I need a drink. Hold up, I need a blunt. Hold up, I need some tea to calm my nerves down. And that's what you need. You need something to balance this emotion that you're about to have. Because at some point, yeah, you're going to get real angry. That's the reason why the prophet said, if I wake you all at once, you're going to tear up something. Because he already know it's levels to this shit. It is. It's
Yeah.
levels to it. And if you don't control that lower self or even know that you got to control it, you're going to lose trying to figure out how to win. And that's why I had to get control of. I had to get control of that lower self and just really get down to it and get to the matter of what is this truth that I need so bad. I know I need it, but I need to make sure that I'm around the right people. I'm gonna make sure that I handle myself so that I can continually attract the right people. Because the more you heal, the more power you attract. Because you attract who you are. It's your power you're attracting. So when I attract you, told you they were showing up for. I told you they showed up for you. It's power. I'm telling you. When anyone who attract you, they powerful. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all don't be listening. They don't hear me.
Well, well, you know what I mean. But instead, in terms of, when did you know? Um, were you always cognizant of the fact that you were a Moorish American and not? I mean, well, wait a minute. Let me start. Let me go back there. Where's Chung? Chung is your birth name.
I was named at birth. My grandfather named me when I was young. When I was born, my mom didn't want to put him on my birth certificate, but he named me. My grandfather said her name is Chung, so people called me Chung all my life. Only really people at work really called me Diana, and at school, because what really upset me was when I was in school. I want to say around second grade or so is when it really started getting real bad, when the teacher couldn't get it right. And she was like, Chin, Chun. I'm sitting there going, I would even ask my mom, how is she a teacher and she can't sound it out? I don't understand. It's really simple. It's Chung. How come she can't get it right? There's no S in my name. There's no shin or shoe. There's no, what are you doing? So I said, just call me Diana because it's easier. And people ain't making fun of me. They ain't call me Tiger Chung Lee or Chung Lee. Just call me Diana.
Do
So
you have in your bloodline, or because Chung sounds like Chinese or
Chinese
something?
and Jamaican.
China. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Chinese and Jamaican.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's where you get the Chung.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you know that, when you started becoming aware of your nationality and birthright? Was it when you before you came to California, or while you
No,
were still in Baltimore?
no. As of since 2017 actually.
Oh, because you would
Mhm.
the way you on it, I would think that you've been, studying for the last 20 years or
Yeah.
more.
I'm gonna tell
So
you. I'm gonna tell you so weird how I found how I even got into the Moor Science Temple.
okay.
Um, I was actually washing my clothes at a laundromat in Long Beach, right around the corner from my house. It was wash day, and this lady she had on a turban with a feather, and she had on a pin, and she and I had good conversation just about nothing. And then she actually, when I was conversing with her, I was using the terminology black,
Mhm.
and she was correcting me. She was an older woman, she was an elder, and she was correcting me. And I listened to her. I didn't fight her, I didn't argue with her. I just listened to her. And she educated me. And then she actually sent me to RV Bay Publications. Do you know that's where I started at? It started up there for me for Taj Tariq Bay. He showed me a lot. I ordered every book. Sure
Mhm.
did. I ordered everything about the driver's license, the IRS fraud, you name it. I ordered everything. I wanted to know. And I call those starter books because they get you started on your journey. When you actually start to ask the qualifying questions from what you already read, then you are actually starting your journey on what it is for who you are. I self law and master. So I started learning the Constitution for what it meant. I started learning how to speak because you got to have a dictionary and a thesaurus for this. Because as you're learning these articles and these codes in the Constitution and you're learning these things, you need to know what these words mean. They don't mean what you think. So
Absolutely.
I started asking questions. And before you know it, I was attracting those who already were. I didn't realize there were so many Moors in Long Beach. But I started asking questions and I started attracting that. And before you know, that's all I could do was go on YouTube to find more information, go from there and start looking up things. And it just started me to learn. And like I told you, there's levels to it. There's levels to where, yes, you're going to get angry, but at the same time, you got to make a move. You got to do something. And you see,
Hmm.
my moon is Aries. So that's that fire. That's where that passion comes from. Because when I see, when it makes, I got to make it make sense. And it started making sense because my mom was a minister. So I know a lot about the Bible. And I always had questions, but my questions were getting answered. And I was like, oh, okay, this is making sense. Then they explained Jesus to me. And then they told me about Noble Drew Ali, and I was like, where'd that come from? Not even knowing the prophet. The prophet said you need a source. But I would always ask them, show it to me. Because I'm going to show and tell. You got to show me something. I'm not going to just go off a word alone. Not knowing. That's what the prophet told you. Don't go off a word alone. You got to do this work for yourself. That's what it's all about. The more work you do, the further to the truth you're going to find it because you're seeking it. And as you seek, you shall find. And that's what it is. But eventually I got led to the truth. But yes, he helped me a lot.
But let me say this to you, because the point you just made is important. You said that when you first started, you found RV Bey and you found a lot of Grand Sheik's material, and it was starter material, and that's true. Because he has never said. Although people tried to say, well, he hasn't given me the how to. A lot of times he's giving you all of the clues and the tools and some of the historical stuff, so that you can do what you did, which was then go on and then ask those serious questions. And they say, seek and ye shall find, knock and the door shall be open unto you. But a lot of folks who think, well, this is it, I got this paperwork and that's it. Obviously you realize it was not all that there was, but it was enough to get you started on the right path, so that you
start getting you thinking for yourself. That's what
then he said, if I can get you to, and so that's what you did. And so even here, 40 years later, he's doing that still. Matter of fact, he's downstairs helping somebody right now with a situation. But he'll do, normally he's like, here are your tools now. Go, but sometimes, it's not that he doesn't know, but he cannot, always go that route if that's not his mission. If his mission is to get people started.
Right, exactly.
People like you. Yeah, it's like you and people like Brother Lamont Maurice L. and others who I see who have come through and now are taking it to another level. That's what it's all about. But you got a lot of folks that are going like, show me how, tell me how, take me every step. And that's not always, possible, nor is it the way that a person should be. You can't own it. Right. If you can't make it yours just because somebody told you. It has to be tried and tested. And I think that's what you're saying. Okay, I got this, and then what you begin to do, you said, is to attract other Moors in the was it Long Beach? You said.
Yeah, that's where I was living at. So it just seemed like I was, coming across them more, or maybe they were always there and I just never noticed. But like I said, the more I was getting into the information, the more, like I said, when you open your eyes, you can't unsee it. You start to see things differently, and you start recognizing. And like I said, I started really watching what I started to say from calling myself Black, being a beautiful Black queen and things like that, and not even realizing I'm calling myself a whole dead person. So yeah, I was glad me and that elder, happened to meet at the laundromat that day, because that's where it all started for me, at the laundromat.
Wow.
Some clothes.
So after you actually had your encounter with with that messenger, that angel in the laundromat, did you go to a temple, or did you go find a study group, or
No, I didn't go to temple because she wasn't part of a temple.
Okay.
And she was just giving me, like I said, information. So I didn't really know much. And then when I did find out that there were temples around, I didn't really know nobody. I was just really doing a lot of search myself. So I wasn't like, it's kind of shy about it. I was like, I don't want to just walk up in there, because I wasn't, like I said, I was looking at how they dressed, and I was like, I ain't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that, and I wasn't about to be up in there standing out like that either. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that to myself.
Right.
I'm not gonna do that, because there's so much that I don't even know yet. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to be up in there. Like, it was so many things I had heard by this time, So again, that's why I would challenge everybody that would tell me, "Oh, come on, Chung, you in the temple for real, yo?" I was like, yeah. No, you can't go to no temple. Everybody used to always tell me, you're not supposed to be in no temple. You're not supposed to be in no temple. I kept saying them, show it to me. Show me where it say that at. Nobody could show me where they said that at. But I did see where it does say you do belong in the temple. So I was like, okay, then show me otherwise. Because right now I'm looking at Act 6. And Act 6 says you're supposed to be part of a said government. So a said government is a charter. Charters of government. Then yeah, that would be the temple. That makes sense to me. And this is supposed to be a divine law. So that means this is a universal law. So then that means that this is right. So until someone can show me that this is wrong, this is what I'm going with. Now I know what I need to ask for. So then I started asking the qualifying question to Allah. What temple do I go to? Because I ain't about to be all over the place. I ain't about to do this. And it's just a conversation. You just be having. You ain't got to be all on your knees and stuff all the time. You just be like, hey, what I'm supposed to do? Because shit. Well, in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep letting everybody know what it is, what a TI is, and the TIP. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I just did. I would just do that all the time. People are you part of a temple? No, but I'm supposed to be. So until I find that, y'all supposed to be too. Go get you one. Somebody near your city, get onto one. And I was like getting them, go. You know what I'm saying?
but let's be honest, sis.
It's the truth.
They're not all created equal.
No, they're not.
Huh?
I found that out later on.
Because me personally, I've been like, when it comes to that, especially from the standpoint of, I've seen some on Facebook or YouTube. I believe it was YouTube, and they have some of their services, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is reverse church. And not only is it reverse church, it's old time reverse church. I was a pastor for almost 10 years, and I was in ministry for about 25, the last almost 10 as a pastor. And I'm like, we knew how to get it in. We still got videos of me preaching my, off on YouTube. And I'm not about to go somewhere where I'm gonna just, we're gonna put Jesus, Allah's name in for Jesus and sing them old time legend songs. We ain't doing that. No, I'm good. Look, Tosh the Big yeah, he's my big brother. Look, I don't need that, and that's been my, my confession, until lately, but I'm saying, but that's where I was. That's where I was, because I didn't see, in it anything else than another net. You have, when you think about a net and you catch fish in a net, if you got big holes in the first net, make sure you got a net with smaller holes underneath that and under another. So if they keep dropping through, you got a religion for everything. Catch them, as long as you got them caught up in a web of not knowing who they are, themselves, not knowing their own divinity, their own power, who they came from and where they can go, and even how they can get out of the matrix that they're locked in, this reality of someone else's making. And so I didn't want to find myself back into anything like that. So okay, so you knew that the temple, and it may be folks that disagree, there's a lot of folks, they would, you hear the comment, what's it, temple Moors. There's a temple Moors.
That's what they call us.
Yeah.
And I think what they call them would be out there calling rebels or something like that.
Yeah. But all temples are not teaching what we consider civics. So the things that that we really need to know, and really getting people, getting us nationalized, and all of the protections of a government, recognized, government. Everybody talking about body politics and this, that, and the other, and a third. But there's most of them seem like they were just content in being called a temple and keeping those folks contained, but really never giving them the freedom, of the nationality that the prophet, afforded us in what he did. And then you got some that go so far as to say that the prophet, that Noble Drew Ali wasn't really a prophet, or that he didn't set up the temple correctly. I've heard that. So these other folks are now doing what he didn't do right, and we're hearing that he did everything right, and that he had to set it up then. We're living in the now of what he set up back then, in 1913 or whenever that was back then. He was setting stuff up for a time to come, knowing that even back then there was so much infiltration, and he was being those that were closest to him probably had other agendas, or at least they had been paid and bought and paid, and their job was to discredit him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as soon as, like it said, strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. And it seemed like a lot of those that, from what I understand, and have, when he was arrested and all the things going to happen, they were taking funds to be, you got your Father Divines and your Sweet Daddy Graces and your this and that, ones that walked with him. Now, no, they got in line with pretty much Christianity.
Yeah,
most of them, and some in what we know is Islam, So now, we're finding that there are some that have gone back to exactly what the prophet said, and have established their temples. Not only, what I want to say, because I don't see all as religious, mumbo jumbo.
Yeah,
there,
that's a real dogma.
Yeah, the dogmatic part of it. I mean, because religion, as I'm studying more and more about the true creation of religion as it was created by some of those who sought to enslave others, is basically that. It was a containment. If we get folks focused here doing this thing, by religious is anything you do over and over. You religiously brush your teeth at 6:45 a.m. every morning. That's your religion, right? So you got people coming to church every Sunday, every Friday, and every whatever time, second service, and they never see that they're not progressing in their life, that things aren't getting better for them or their children. The only ones that seem to be prospering are the ones that are in leadership and so forth, and they never see it because they never have aspirations of, in this life, doing better. They've been brainwashed into later, by and by over there, straight paper gold, slippers, robes, and all that over there when you get there.
But their glory is always short-lived. And their glory is always short-lived, if they have any. You've got more people in the church that still struggling to pay their light bills, but they'll make sure they pay that tithe. And I'm sitting there going, listen, at some point, you have to look at yourself and say, look, I can't pay that tithe. My light bill needs to get paid. So meanwhile, the pastor walking around here and Stacey Adams, and your lights are off. You got candles. How you feeling? Because he warm. You cold. And you got children. What's wrong with you? You be ready to get the bell for him or something. Look, get it together. This doesn't make sense to you. Has he even told you who you are? I dare you to ask your pastor this question. Be prepared for him to let you go. He's going to open the door to you. Are you ready to go bye-bye? Because I can show you where the Freedom Gate is at. I can't help you get it, but I can show you where it's at. You just got to do the work. But hear me when I tell you, you got to get out of that. Because they are with the corporation. That's the reason why they promote. You always hear the church promoting the president in the elections, because they're all part of that.
Absolutely.
They're all part of the 501(c)(3). Why else are they promoting it? Because they're part of it. There's a financial benefit and gain for them. So of course they're going to do that. They're supposed to. Even though they're clergy, they have their own little thing that they got to work out. So yeah. You don't pay no taxes, and it's what you're gonna do. You're gonna promote us. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna talk about us. Yes, you lick our feet. Right. We tell you to. Shit.
That's right. You're gonna promote the getting this for the greater good. You're gonna do all of this ridiculous stuff, and you have no you literally sell your soul. Some do. Some sell their souls in order to, and they know better. Conscious. Me, I never sold out. I never sold out, but it's just that I was caught up in repeating, if you will, the narrative. Just like you see those, they come on the news and everybody's got the same. You got some denominations that they got a booklet that goes out, and so it's a book, and maybe for the year, every church in that denomination is teaching from the same.
Yes,
I'm serious. They teach it from the same book because they are. This is the lesson for the week 43, and so every church in that denomination, the pastor is or is given some form of a message from that. No divine inspiration and stuff, because they tell you God's, first some of them they say God stopped talking in after Revelation, and then you got some people say he still speaks, but you got to give me something a year in advance to tell me what I'm supposed to say to the people, as opposed to what we call a ready word or a fresh word, or something that's dealing with the times that people are dealing with. And so what has happened to people is that they have lost their ability to think critically. They think, they don't think critically. And critical thinking, like you said, will make you go like, well, wait a minute, I'm getting ready to give them this tithe, but they get ready to cut my electrical. I can't pay my car note, or I'm looking in here and we got like 2 pieces of cheese in the refrigerator. So they're so afraid that what's going to happen to them, God's going to do to them if they don't. And I told them, one of the things I told folks as I was coming down off of that crazy high horse of being apostle Gilliam, I was like, if you need like you said, if your lights need or bill is due, don't pay no tithes here and then come up here and have to beg the committee to give you money to help keep the money.
And you challenge that spirit. Challenge the spirit. That's what I used to always do.
And one of the things I told people with this thing, that the last 18, 19, 20 months, however long we've been in this thing, that one thing it did, I said it should have proven to a lot of people that you didn't pay any tithes and you still you still good. The devourer didn't get you. You know what I mean? And a lot of folks, it changed their minds because they actually, I think anything you could do for 21 days, it becomes a habit. It becomes a new habit. And that new habit of not going to church every Sunday, Friday, Saturday night, whatever time that, anytime they say we having service, you felt like, wow, I'm alive. And that's what people, and they didn't want to go back to regular, give me Zoom or give me death. They didn't want to, I could put Zoom on and put my picture up and go about my business. I'm in service, but serious. But that you can. But listen, so you went through that, and let me even check out, see if anybody has any you realize and review. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if there's any questions. You can probably see comments and stuff, but they probably having all kinds of conversations over there. But listen, so you went through that, and eventually, because we're going forward and then we're going backwards, because I need to talk about when you turn 21, and we're going to talk about that. Yeah, we're going to talk about 21 and stuff like that, significant number. So you eventually, though, did join the temple.
Last year when I was 43.
Okay.
Temple 43. So
Temple 43.
And I was 43 years old. Isn't that amazing? That's 7-7.
And the stuff you say when you're doing your lives and so forth is so strong. I mean, you telling folk, look, time is about to be up. Y'all is the land, the dot. I've heard you on many occasions, like you being you of course this is an interview, so you're chilling. But when you just throw on, your inspiration and your guides are like all around you, I'm sure you in your truck with the bonnet on.
That's the OGs. They be sitting with me talking to me, and I'm telling you, like, they get the message. I get the message out, but sometimes it used to be a time that not really too much anymore, but it used to be a time where I used to be like, dang, I feel like I did too much, and then I may get hit up.
Oops, yeah.
In my inbox, there was one particular time, many actually, but one particular time that comes in question where the young lady was ready to commit suicide. So that something that I said changed her life, and she told me to keep doing what I was doing. And that wound up becoming one of many different ones. Of course, you get your ones that say, "Oh, you're too vulgar, you're too harsh, you're a narcissist." I get all that, but not as much as I get the praise, the encouragement, should I say? Because it's more encouragement. Because sometimes I do would get down because I suffered from depression and anxiety for 17 years. So it's like being a drug addict, but I was never a drug addict. But you always fight it because you don't want to go back to that. You don't want to revert to it. So when it's not that I'm looking for it from everyone else, but I had to find it within myself so that when people did come at me, I knew who I was in such a way that what they said didn't even bother me. So I got a little bit of mixture of both. Even in the still, I still live in bliss every day that I get up because I already know who I am, and I'm in the best position of my life. There's no reason for me to ever be angry. But what I will always do is because it is my calling to uplift fallen humanity to help someone else out the way somebody helped me. Like somebody had patience with me. And even though my deliverance may not be what everyone may seem to understand or be able to receive, that's why I always tell people don't look at what I'm saying or literally how I'm saying it, but get the messages coming from it because it's passion, there's love there. And love is truth, truth is art is Allah. And that's the most important part of what I always say is listen for the love. Because where there's love, there's truth. And I'm telling you, truth ain't gonna never pass away. So I ain't never gonna lose. You can never call me out. You can never call me a fraud. You ain't never gonna find nothing fraudulent because I'm not. You don't hear me up here asking for a cash app. I'm not Creflo Dollarette. No, I'm not. So I'm not looking for your money, and I have my own money. I don't need your coins. Keep them because you're gonna need them to stack for 90 days. Yeah, you're gonna need to because all y'all broke. You need to get the bank, get out the bank because a lot of y'all depending on that. Stop working and clocking in for somebody else and building somebody else's empire. I don't need to put a cash app up when you need to be getting your cash app together. Raise yours up because mine is good. I'm good. I'm good here. And all I'm doing, trying to do is help you get to where I'm at because I'm already living it. Trying to help you get there too. That's what we supposed to do. We supposed to help each other. It's like when you write. This is a race, people. Look at it as a race, and we're all running this race. Everybody's in a different line. So I'm a little bit ahead than some people, and some people a little bit ahead than me. Doesn't make me no better, but I will tell you is that when you fall and you trip on a rock, I'm not gonna charge you $50 to get you off that rock so we can get to the finish line. I'm gonna take your hand and I'm gonna say, "Come on, get you some water and let's go. We got some work to do." That's what I'm doing with y'all right now. These people out here be asking you for a cash up to give you some information that you can go look it up yourself. And when you find out that they are full of shit, then you're gonna be mad because you put out money and you didn't get nowhere. Now you're on a terrorist list because you're thinking you're a Moorish American and you're not. So you're impersonating a national. So yeah, you're on a terrorist list if you went to the UCC way. You think you're right, but you're not. And I'm just giving y'all what I'm just telling y'all what they're not telling y'all. That's basically all I'm doing. I'm telling you what they're not going to tell you until it's too late and you're gonna find out. So you don't have to listen to me, but you're gonna see. You're gonna see when that time for that bridge, and you ain't going over that bridge. When the nationals just shut everything down, yeah, you ain't going over that bridge. Whole bunch your ID. No, the prophet said your ID is gonna change in your pocket. That's what he meant. It's not what you think. It ain't what it looked like. Because you didn't do it right. You went through a different way. And what it used to be is not what it is. It never was. They made you believe that. And keep in mind the UCC, the U in it means uniform, not universal. So you can't use a uniform to become universal. And the etymology of uniform is what? It's a garment that covers the original. So that's all a uniform is. It's garment that covers the original. So why do you want garment to cover the original? Don't you just want to get the original? So get to the original then. I just told you how to get it. That's it. You got to nationalize. Nationalize the order of the day, and you got to be part of a said government. Because if you ain't gonna be part of this government, you're gonna be part of somebody's government. So you're gonna either be a slave or you're gonna be free. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You can't be a slave talking about you got you free. No, you a whole victim waiting for that time to come. They got a female can't waiting for you. And that's the real. They don't want to hear that. And I said, well, somebody gonna hear it. It's gonna pinch somebody's nerve real quick. And when somebody get pinched, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, I ain't supposed to go. Well, what I gotta do? No problem. If you're really serious about it, there you go. Send them the calling card. Boom. That's what you do. And let them finish the work from there. They got to do the rest of the work themselves. We don't really have no right to interrupt nobody's want for freedom. But if you tell them that you're part of something and you're part of something that's real that can help them, and they feel like some people feel like you have no idea. I've been praying for you, child, and you just like, listen here, honey. I'm just a connector. Here you go. Boop. Drop it in your pile. There you go. Boop boop. There you go. Now you do what you gotta do with it. I see you on the other side. And peace out. Be done. Some people don't even do that. I want it so bad. I want it so bad. And then you give it to them. And they never show up. Girl, shut up. Don't complain about nothing else. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing you talking about. Just shut up.
I mean, you like you said, it's there's a lot of misconceptions, and then there's a lot of places that aren't completely operating in the manner in which prophet said it should be operated, and so there is no attraction there may be a group that's been there for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years until they die out, but they're not attracting the awakening Moors. They're not attracting them because they're that's never what they did. They had sort of an us four and no more kinds of group. Now it's time we see how precarious and dangerous of the times that we are living in. However, I like what you said. You live in your best time. Really, we chose to be here at this time, but what did we choose? What did we choose to be in this time? Like you said, slave or free.
Right.
And the choice is ours at this point. Even though they try to, mandate mandates on laws.
Right.
The choice.
But that's what it means when it says "Let your will be done," because will means choice. So it's let your choice be done. So what is your will? What do you want? What do you want to do? That's why I tell people you really become your own worst enemy, because the choice at the end really is yours. And your choice can really affect others, especially if you have children. So, and I just give it to them raw. I give it to them raw. I give it to them uncut, because somebody needs to give it to them raw and uncut. Everybody want to be trying to stroke your ego. We are not supposed to be stroking egos. We're supposed to be egoless. So I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut. It don't feel good. But if you got children and it's let your will be done, and you choose to not do this, when they come down on you in them FEMA camps and they come busting in your door, your children ain't going with you. They're going to a different FEMA camp. You going in one camp, your children going in another, and your mate, if you have one, they're going in another one. So ain't nobody going to be together. This is the end result of what you chose because you let your will be done. That was a choice that you made. So I just tell people, is that the choice that you want to live with? You keep saying your children are your world. So what world do you live in? Where are you at? Where are you at? Where you at? Because make it make sense to me. People be talking about all this stuff, but they'll be like, you ain't free though. So I don't believe what you're talking about. You don't even want freedom. I'll be careful how I even listen to spiritually. I'm like, did spirit tell you to nationalize? Oh. Is spirit telling you all these things? Did they tell you something wrong with you? Oh. Guess you can't read me or nothing. You can't even read yourself. You can't touch me. No, thank you. I'll say
yeah, well, you're getting the message across to a lot of people who follow you. You'll be back when you get out of jail, Facebook jail, in a couple of days.
2 days. Two.
I mean, they are so touchy now. Listen, I'm. But some folks were asking in the chat whether or not you have a YouTube page, or are you just on?
No,
you got 3 pages.
I wanted one, but because of my language and I know how it is, I've heard a couple friends of mine being on 3-month probations or 3 months, and I'm like, they do a harder hit than Facebook, so I don't want to get caught up like that. So I was like, it's probably best if I just leave YouTube alone, because they being shut. Because when they can shut down one account, they'll shut down all your accounts. You get too much. So I bring too much. I bring a lot of rawness that I don't really see too much on the tube. There are restrictions that I had to read, and I was like, I'm not willing to abide by all those restrictions.
You need to go on Telegram, Chung. You need to go on Telegram, because you can pretty much be yourself over on Telegram, and a lot of folks have joined up on Telegram, and so I think you can even do videos, you can do lives and all that stuff. So consider doing something over on Telegram, because they need to be able to hit you up and ask you some questions, and hear what you're saying, and you can share. So as a member of the temple, though, you heard spirits. Well, you said you just had to find the right temple. You had to find the right temple, and you have done that, and found a temple that's following the principles of love, truth, freedom, and justice, and has the civics, and has all the nationality, birthright, and is recognized. Tell us about that.
I'm sorry.
The temple is recognized as its
Yes,
own.
it's the only one. It's the only one that did it right. We did it right. Grand Governor, Grand Chairman C. Jones Bay did it right. He's the only one globally to be recognized. So no one else. That basically really does mean that everyone else did it wrong. He didn't do it overnight. I think he did mention taking like 22 years for him to do it the way the prophet told him to do it. And he had to go through some ups and downs through it, but he figured it out. He did it right and got confirmation uh, from the higher ups, from the government that we had to go through to get out of, that we did it right. So, yeah, we are globally recognized, and that's why it's so important, because it's all law, and he teaches you that.
Globally recognized as a nation state.
That's
right?
it. We're recognized globally
as a government.
As a government. That's why I do always tell people that there's only two governments running the Republic right now, and that is the Vatican and Temple 43. A lot of people don't want to hear that's the absolute truth. They know ain't no false lies in that, because we really are globally recognized. And when they know who you are, that's why the Vatican gave us back the land in 2014. It all makes sense because of what he did and what he put in place during that time. So he shows you everything. We were in the Los Angeles, the Metropolitan Enterprise, in September 2020 to October 2020, where it was published for those 4 consecutive weeks, where you can actually see that we have the deed to the land. Temple 43 has the deed to the land, and that's not a joke. When I come out here and I say, that we are your landlords, it's not a joke. We are your landlords because we have the deed to the land. So we're just putting the government in place, and things will soon, work out as they have to work out. So we have laws that we have to go by, and they can't be broken. So people are like, oh no, I'm not going to go no religion. But you see, there's only one religion, and your Constitution tells you that you have freedom of religion, because there's only one religion that saves you, and that's Islamism, and that's also globally recognized. So it's not something it may be something that you just found out, but it ain't nothing new. It is the original and the only old time religion. So when you talk about old time religion, give me that old time religion. What? Islam. Islamism. Don't blame me. That's what it is. It's Islamism. So, it ain't the pastor with the tambourine, or no, Deacon Betty. No, it's not. It's Islamism, folks, and that's what it is. So when you realize that, and you realize how they got us all hemmed up in this matrix, and how you have to get undone, and stop calling yourself dead people, because when you say you're black, you're saying you're dead and you're pale, and ain't nothing dead or pale about me. I'm live, honey, and I'm not pale. I'm golden, and the prophet said we have olive shade, but because when you first born, you have like an olive tone to you before you actually hit the atmosphere, and then your complexion will start to come in. But yes, if you look at your babies when they're born, you'll see like little olive patches on their skin when they're born.
I still have one on my hip. It go away. Looks like a blue purple olive green.
Okay.
I kept mine.
Oh yeah, mine. I don't know where they at.
Yeah, somebody asked where Temple 43 is located. It's in Los Angeles, but
we go through a Zoom. We do have Zoom
but
classes.
It's global, so it doesn't matter.
Global.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it really doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, you don't have to be in California. You could be anywhere. And like I said, you have to proclaim, because you were born here. You have to proclaim here. So that's their only way to proclaim and get out this matrix, is you have to know that you're not Black, African American, Negro, or colored, or Ethiopian. Those names were given to us through times of slavery, from 1779 to 1865. No, it didn't happen for 400 years. They lied to you. So you got to unlearn and reteach yourself. That's all this basically is unlearning and reteaching yourself all over again. But once you realize that history has nothing to do with us, and I do say his story has nothing to do with us, we have to go back to the mystery of our people, because we didn't have Social Security cards and birth certificates and all like that. So we had to go back, and we had to find out what the prophet was trying to tell us, and we got to learn it. And trust me, you're gonna be so happy that you did, and it's just you just learn so much. But I'd be so passionate, but I'd be ready to go in. So I'm gonna help y'all out. I'm gonna chill out. Y'all know how I do.
So, but we have links. We have links to your. I put links in the description for your Facebook pages.
Mm-hmm.
And so if anybody wants more information, they can reach out to you, or they can also reach out to me too.
Mm-hmm.
And but you are more versed in what you know. So let's now let's go back. Let's go back.
Okay,
Let's
let's
go
go back.
way back when. Okay. Listen, I'm getting crazy. I told you, look, y'all, we having one of them conversations, and y'all just listen. Y'all eavesdropping. Y'all like eavesdropping on this stuff, but it's all right. It's all good. Learn something sometimes, because sometimes I have to tell somebody, listen, I'm not ear hustling, but I heard you. Can you give me a little bit more about the such and such? I heard
Right.
you talking about it.
You better than me because I get shy. I be like, I'm gonna ask, but
Yeah, I always like to put my 2 cents in. So let's go back. 22 years ago, you just celebrated a rebirth day.
mm-hmm.
Recently.
24.
You're
It was
24.
24. Yeah, September
24.
16th, 1997.
Okay, so I mentioned that you have had psychic abilities since you were a little child. So
Yeah,
that's
3 or
always
4.
3 or 4. You are aware
Mm-hmm.
of it. But you it's funny, you said to me that someone, I don't know, what somebody you work with or somebody you knew of at work had an accident or something and got a settlement. Tell us about that and what you.
Yeah, so I was going to work. I used to work for Saks Fifth Avenue out there in Aberdeen. Anybody out there who's on my page, y'all know. So I used to work there. And it was my birthday, and the people I had made friends with celebrated my birthday with me early that morning. And we was having birthday cake early in the morning. And one of the girls that got her money, because she got me a really nice gift, okay? And I was like, I made a comment about it. She said, I just got my settlement, $70,000. I said, what'd you do to get that money? And she's, I was in a car accident. I said, oh, I wish I was in a car accident so I can get $70,000. That was 9/11, 1997. On 9/16/1997, on my way to work, that same job, my husband at the time was taking me to work, and this woman who made a bad decision to get into her boyfriend's 88 Cutlass, a white Cutlass, all metal, by the way, and I was in the passenger seat. My husband at the time was driving, and it was a 93 Buick Century compared to her Cutlass, all metal,
Mhm.
hit us head on. And I just remember I was going to pick up my contact, and I remember going to go pick it up. I just never went to go pick it up. I wound up going this way, or I wound up going through the windshield. That's what I remember. I remember just going through the windshield. So later on, I found out that that seat had, when she hit us from the impact, hitting us head on, my seat had curled up and bolted up out the bottom, and I went through the windshield. So when a windshield actually has 3 levels of glass, I went through 3 levels of glass head first. I was hanging out, half my body was hanging out. Through the impact, I wound up having uh, a splenectomy, so I lost my spleen immediately right then. It had busted or ruptured, as they call it. And then, so I was cut from here to here, and I had to have 17 blood transfusions. I was dead for 22 minutes. They did lose me for 22 minutes. Well, I'll tell y'all about that in a minute. And then after they revived me, then I went into a coma for 4.5 months. And I had to learn how to walk and talk all over again. Like, they told me I had 3 children. At the time that I had the accident, my oldest son now, who is 24, was 6 months old at the time. So um, I missed all his first tooth, first words, first steps. I missed all those things. Um, I I had to be on the strongest drugs known to man because of the pain and going in and out. I was zoned out. for at least 2 years of my life, I was high. Don't know too much. I lost a lot of my memory during that time. So depression and all those things that set in from all of that, from me losing my memory, not really knowing so many people. Uh, at the time, I was able to speak 6 different languages that my mother taught me because she's multilingual, and I could understand them, but I couldn't speak them back, and I couldn't really understand them writing them down. It was really weird. My memory was really weird. I had glass in most parts of my body, from the top all the way through my body. I was going through my body. So I went through a lot of things, transitioning, having to learn how to do a lot of things all over again that we take for granted, learning how to walk, learning how to talk, brush your teeth, do your hair, simple things like that. Just to go back a little bit to the time where I transitioned for those 22 minutes, uh, that was really, really different, and definitely a changing part in my life, because during that time that I was gone, I saw myself on the table. Uh, I don't know what they tell you on TV, all that shit they tell you on TV about transitioning. They tell you so much they don't even tell you, because when you transition, there is no emotion in the spiritual realm. I saw myself there. The time difference was different. Mind you, I'm 21 years old. So going through that, there is no, oh, I'm feeling sorry for this body laying here. I'm feeling so sad. There's none of that. You don't feel any of that. You're just looking at what's going on. I actually was able to tell the doctor what happened and everything, and they kept me in the psych ward. Once I was able to, to speak, they had me in the psych ward for 3 days to analyze me and check me out, because what they weren't telling me was that it wasn't a dream, that it really did happen. They just want to know, how did I know that? Because I literally gave them detail by detail as to what happened during that 22 minutes. That time when they had lost me, okay, during that time they were trying to take my spleen out, they had lost me, and they were giving me blood. I had lost already a lot of blood internally, and that they were trying to get me back. They only had 4 doctors in there. They wound up calling 3 more doctors in. There was an actual doctor who he wasn't even supposed to be really on that floor. To this day, I think he's an angel, because nobody remembers who this guy is. But he is the doctor that saved my life. He was the doctor that was bringing me back. And normally, after 7 minutes, they're supposed to call your death. He did that times 3 and then a minute. He stayed on it. And he basically risked his job, his life, his career to save mine. So he kept going. He did not let me go. He kept going with me. So he pretty much ran that whole, whoever he had to be somebody higher, because he was telling them, no, she needs to, we're not doing enough. And he was ordering them to do what to do. And each doctor was moving, and they each one had a position. He put them all in position. So I was surrounded, and they were all helping me to breathe, helping me to come back. And he kept saying, no, this isn't right, this isn't right. And he was just moving, everything was just happening so fast. But hear me when I tell you, like, that time, in this time right now, in the time that I was in the spiritual realm, it's a whole different time frame. So what seems like may only be what, it was only 22 minutes, which is really a long time. That's like 3 times to say, okay, she's dead, was years for me, because I was really looking at myself like, why ain't she getting up? Like, I'm just looking at her. I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at everybody going around. I'm looking at everything that's going on around me. I saw my grandfather and my grandmother with me. He told me, he says, you got to go back. My grandmother said, everything that I told you is getting ready to happen for you. You got to go back. I was like, I'm okay. I was happy to see them. But again, it's hard to explain, because you're in the spiritual realm, and you're not dealing in sadness. You're not dealing in sorrow. That explains why the prophet said, death is no enemy to man, because you don't feel like something's wrong in that realm. In that realm, it's very peaceful, it's very happy, it's joy. That's the best way to describe it. But it was really like, when I came back, It was really like a push, like a push. That's the best way I can describe it, but more like a hard push. And when I was in that coma, I could smell, I could hear. It was just dark. It's very dark, but I could hear, and your senses are heightened. I mean, to the 100,000 power when you're in a coma. When you're in a coma, you can hear everything. You can hear shit going on down the hallway with that door shut. That's why I always tell people when they're on life support, hey man, they can hear you. They can hear you. They can hear you. They can feel.
Be
They
careful
just
what you say.
yes, because seriously, they can hear you. They can smell you. Everything. It's just you're moving in that dream, but you're not physically doing anything. And that's why a lot of people give up because they know that when they keep going, they just give up. They like, okay, where's that light? I'm looking for this light because you're having this dream, but it's dark. It's just dark, but you can see everybody. That's what it's like. It's dark, but you can see everybody. And it's like there's no high, there's no low, there's no walls. You just can see, you can smell. We want to get out. You have to fight to get out. I just kept fighting to get out because my mom would literally come there every day and read to me. She would read the Bible to me every day. And I could smell that smell that she used to wear, that Yves Saint Laurent. I can still smell today. But you know what? I'll never forget the day that I came out the coma. She said to me, she played that song by Elton John, "I'm Still Standing," and to this day, I love that song. And I didn't really know much about that song until she played it, but I love that song, and it made me feel good because I'm still standing. You know, at the time I couldn't stand because I was waking up out of my coma. I didn't know I couldn't stand, but just my life being there, that meant a lot to her. I was her only child, you know, at the time. So yeah, it meant a lot. The experience since then has been a roller coaster of emotions because I'm able to travel a lot more in the spiritual realm. I had to figure out how to stop that, not really stop it, but control it because I was doing it a lot. My mom had taught me how to do something like that, how to really travel, but I didn't know that's what she was telling me how to do. So I had been traveling in the spiritual realm. Like when I lay down and go to sleep, I would travel. I noticed that my
Astral traveling. They call it
yeah,
astral
and I
travel.
really
Yeah.
right. I really could pay people visits and not really knowing what I'm really doing. Um, never I call it never maliciously, never nothing ever wrong. Just I want to see what's going on. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to sleep, and I would do that, and I learned how to master it. So I know how to go places I want to go to. If I want to go somewhere, I'll go. And I tell people that's what I tell people. You don't always need candles in a book. You know what I'm saying? Your intent is all it is. That's the most powerful thing you can ever do is your intent. So make sure your intent is full of love. You know, don't be, you know, I tell people who have that gift, be careful with that gift because people take it and misuse it and start taking people, and I call them raping them, going to them and having sex with them. They know they don't. They know they doing. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So
That's
you're
raping people.
so you're saying that the phenomena called with the incubus and the succubus are really entities that are astral people that are astral traveling maybe instead of spirits, the spirit of people that are
No,
doing
you can do
that.
both. That's really both. No, no, that's a little different. That's when you're doing that, you really are those entities that you pulling up. Those are dead people. Those people are gone. They're physically gone,
I
and
mean,
you're
they show
pulling
up.
up.
People have said that they have been, they felt like they were being molested in their sleep and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
They call it, I think, succubus of women, incubus men.
Yeah,
Attack.
that's the darker side to it. There is a pleasurable side to it. If it's somebody that you know you may like, you know that likes you. So it's kind of easy to make that little travel happen. And I always tell people or explain the situation, the scenario, how they will go to sleep and so did you dream of that person? If you dreamt of that person and you wake up and you got wet sheets, because you know, and you may be tired the next day, wake up tired because the whole night you were working it out. You were working it out, and you thought it was just a dream. No, it wasn't just a dream. You really were booty bump. You was doing that whole boom, boom, boom. You was getting it cracking, and you be tired in real life. You're like, wait a minute, I tricked about you. Yeah, I came to come see you. You saying people be doing that. Don't you do that?
I had a friend that used to tell me that they were able to go and check on people. His thing was to check on people in their in his dream state. He was able to ask her. I said, "Don't ever come check on me, please. I'll never check on me. Don't check on me, please."
Yeah, be careful because they start telling you everything about in your house. They start walking through your house and stuff. You see like little shadows going through your house.
Mm. Wow. Someone asked, where did I see that question? I know who asked it. I don't know who asked it, but I think because I said so. Yeah, because I said so. Wanted to ask you, what does the number 444 mean?
Oh yeah, the 444 is meaning your ancestors connecting to you. That means someone is letting you know they're there. You may have asked a question, or maybe in your mind, maybe not even out loud, but in your mind is where everything starts. So that's your ancestors letting you know that you are protected and they're there. They're watching you. They see you. They know what's going on. Ask the question. Let them know what you want. Usually, when you start seeing 444, just give thanks to your ancestors, especially anyone that may have just transitioned. Sometimes you usually may see that pretty often when someone just transitioned. My aunt just transitioned, and I've been seeing 444 a lot since she passed. I mean, a lot more than usual. Usually, I see my grandfather's number 881 because that's the number he used to play a lot when he used to
Mm-hmm.
play numbers. So every time I see 881, I know that's my grandfather. So that's his number. But when you see 444, that's your angels, that's your guides, your ancestors letting you know that they're there, your protection. That's what that means.
Yeah,
So
I was
yeah.
reading Sister Delilah. Mother Delilah says, I don't know what
Learn your
what
numbers though.
she
Learn
says.
those numbers because those when you see those numbers, and you start seeing them like that, you start asking the questions. You're gonna get the answers through the numbers, signs, and symbols, and that's how your angels connect and talk to you. That's how they communicate. So as you follow those signs, you can look up if you need to Google it or whatever. But when you look it up as angel number. What does angel number dot mean? It might not necessarily be 111 or 222 or 333, 444, and so forth, right? It may be 789, which is one of the most powerful ones that you'll get, or 000. That's a very rare one that you'll see, because that really means you came full circle. 789 is a very powerful number because seven is the number of completion, number of perfection. Eight is the number of infinite wealth, infinite prosperity, abundance, everything infinite. Has a start but no ending, like the number eight.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the number eight. And then the nine is a number of completion. So you put those three together and you're at a breakthrough. So just keep going. When you see those numbers like that, that means you're at a breakthrough. So keep going because you're breaking cycles. Once you see that 999, that means you broke a cycle. And they say different levels, different devils. That's what that is. So you just can't get to level 30 thinking that you about to get the level 30 benefits. Nope, because you didn't get to level 1 to 29, so you missing out. And if you didn't do it right, you're gonna lose. I be trying to tell y'all, start from the bottom, work your way to the top. That's how you win. You ain't gonna win just starting from the top. That ain't never gonna happen like that. Come on now. You gotta work, you gotta do some work to get there.
So, have you ever experienced visitations from departed? They're like, oh, well, me. Are you a medium? In other words, do the dead contact you or try to get you to
Not
give
necessarily
them?
like that. Not necessarily like that, but they do come contact me. And I'm gonna tell you, like I told you, I'm a Virgo, so I'm very honest, raw and uncut. I know how to tell them spirits real off top. I tell my ancestors, please, don't let me see you. I don't want to see you. I don't do ghosts. I don't. Some people do. I don't want to see you walking through my house. But my uncle, he likes to turn the lights on and off. I can do that. I can do with things falling. I can do that too. But don't let me see you walk through the house. I will have a whole shit fit for real. I'm like, because you're not gonna be going, trying to go to the bathroom warehouse in the morning. Don't nobody want to see you walk through the house, in the morning. Sit down. Don't let me see that because it's a whole. You're my mind. Just don't. Just don't do that. I can tell. They let me know when they're around, and that works for me. We have a relationship.
Mhm.
But some people really do see them. I really do put it out there. I don't want to see you like that because I may get signs and symbols. The weirdest thing I've had was when my uncle called me, and he's dead already, but his phone called me, and his phone is off. That was weird. And I was like, oh, he was trying to connect to me. But no, I ain't actually seen, I don't see them. The last time I actually did see my grandfather, I was 8 years old. And I said, I don't want to ever see a ghost ever again. Like, not from anybody that I know. Don't show me yourself. Please don't. Don't. Please. I can't handle it. I can't. I almost peed myself. I can't do it. It's like heights for me. I can't do it. Mm-mm.
So, yeah.
But I do have my visions.
Okay. Yeah. So it must be, like I get a lot of phone calls and stuff. So I get a lot of calls, a lot of questions, a lot of that. And for someone who's psychic, I assume on a different level, though more of a psychic level, some folks get a lot of spiritual calls. You always have these inclinations and feelings, or
yeah,
you hear
I get those.
Yeah.
I get a lot of those, and sometimes they can be pretty scary. Like as I told you that one. Did I tell you that one time about me being in the grocery store? With the guy.
Oh yeah, talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty scary one actually, but it ain't the first time. He was a pedophile. It was his own child that he was molesting, and it was crazy because I was in the store, and I think it was in Target or one of those stores, and we were going. He passed by me in one of the aisles, and when he passed by me, that energy connected, and I saw the little girl who was not with him in the store, by the way. But I seen the little girl. I seen what he was doing. It was like a flash, and it was like the way I can describe it is like a movie flash, but you're seeing it all at once. But it's so fast that it's slow, so you're seeing what's going on. And I was like, and I was angry because I saw him in that way. What he did to her. What made it? What gave me chills was because I already knew I had this ability, but what gave me chills was when I was on my way out. Just so happens his car was parked diagonally from me in the parking lot, and he came out a little bit after I did. I was putting my child in the car seat, so I was a little bit. Took me a little bit to get. If I had just got in and left, I wouldn't have seen him.
Mm-hmm.
But I would took me a little time before I got it together before I pulled off. Anywho, before I even got into the driver's seat, I see him coming out, and of course I'm disgusted just even looking at this man. But I'm already knowing what I'm seeing. And guess who's in the car? He goes to the car, but guess who's in the car? The little girl. And she looks exactly like I seen her. And I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know if I should follow him home. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was really battling on what to do. And I was just like, I'll be in jail. I got my children with me. Like, and it's things like that that will just, that'll kind of like mess your mind up if you don't really know how to deal with it. With me, knowing what I know, before that, I usually cry that kind of stuff out because it's very painful to see someone else go through that, and you really are seeing it. Now, what I do now is I've learned to take spiritual baths. So I do a lot of hyssop to get rid of it, to cleanse my mind. I do a lot of different roses and petals, and I do milk baths and honey and Himalayan sea salt to cleanse my spirit and cleanse my aura from that because it's heavy. It's very heavy, and I am a real true empath, so I feel that very heavy, and I'll be just busting out crying on somebody else's behalf and not really even know, like, oh my God. So when people, it's hard for me sometimes to go on Facebook, like when I always tell people, like, the people like, oh, you see my post, you see this, and you see that. I said, let me explain something to you about Facebook. I get on, I get off, and I may go in and check here and there, but I can't. I gotta be careful because when I see people posting pictures of themselves or different stuff, what they saying ain't what I'm seeing. It ain't matching. That's where I get a lot of my posts from, experience, and I just generalize it so that somebody gonna get it because I saw it and it's not what it appears to be. So it's a lot of pain. Everyone got trauma. Some people's trauma is more active as far as like how they're subconscious and how their ancestors speak out for you. A lot of y'all have ancestors that really scream for y'all. And you really don't be paying attention. A lot of y'all got a lot of pain and you can see it that you don't even show it physically out. No one else could physically even look and see it. Someone like myself, I can see it. I don't hug everybody on purpose. I don't shake everybody's hand on purpose. It's not to be mean. It's an energy transfer that I had to keep myself protected because I understand what I'm dealing with. People misunderstand it to be narcissistic, to be I don't know, snotty or whatever, but it really is a protection for myself. Because when you know better, you do better, and you have to apply it. It's not always easy, but that's why I say I have to live in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, so that I can continue to attract that tribe, so that I will feel okay hugging on you because we are healing together. I don't want to be dealing with nobody who has malicious intent and smiling and grinning and hey girl, no, get away from me. Don't play with me. Get over there. And they don't understand that. But no, get over there, and I mean it. Yeah, over there. So you can love them over there, and I'll be
Over
dead.
there.
Yeah, and I'll be dead ass. No, over there.
Good vibes. Good
Smile,
vibes. Oh,
smile. Don't forget
yeah.
to smile. Yeah,
Yeah.
over there. Stay your ass over there too. Don't play with me, because people don't. People, everybody's intent ain't right, and I do know that. And like I said, I'll start feeling somebody else's pain, and I'll be even brought that mess home with me. I got a 6-year-old. It's more. It's more to it than it's so much more in the spiritual realm that I've been able to see since my accident. That everything is starting to come together now, and it's all making sense for me. So I don't deal with too many people because of that. Because it's not too many people who really would understand what that even meant. How to even even act around me. And it's not like, oh, you gotta be all tight around me. I always tell people, be yourself. Please be yourself. I'm gonna be myself, but I don't want to have to feel weird around you though.
I'm assuming that since your experience, you know, if you did, you would no longer fear death.
No, it's a very peaceful place. I mean, it's happy. It's happy as hell. It's happy. It's the best way I could tell you. It's happy. It really is happy because there's no emotion there. There's none of that. It doesn't even exist. That's when I first realized that emotions are not real. Because I was like, I didn't feel any of that. I didn't feel like, oh, look at her. What's wrong with her? No, there was none of that. It was none of that. It was
What
none of
about
that.
your ex-husband? Was he injured?
Minorly. He had bad knees. He had the impact had messed up his knees because he's long. So he was, I guess, the way he was sitting, but it had pushed in on his knees.
Hmm.
But my seat had bolted up, which pushed me through the windshield. His seat didn't bolt up.
Wow. Yeah, and I
So
guess
yeah,
that experience was yours. That was yours to have, and which also speaks to being careful what you wish for or
that's
speak of,
right.
because you said, and
Life
I
and
don't know
death is
what,
power of the tongue.
but that was, I mean, not getting into your business, but was that an accident where you ended up with a settlement anyway? I mean,
Yeah, I ended
okay.
up with $1.3 million, but when they all got paid the bills and everything, well,
Oh, I know how that goes. I was
you're
interested.
right.
You end up with 1/3 of or less of what,
Don't forget that cut.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so wow. But so you also work with herbs. You do
Yes.
you, so tell us more
Hmm.
about your
I
herbal
learned. I learned. Well,
healing.
my mom used to always do organic everything. She's always made her own shampoo ever since I was younger. She's always made. So I've always known about herbs. Colloidal silver, acidophilus, and all different types of herbs and stuff, and the powers of them. And I kind of like steered away from it as I got older because I was, like I said, my mom and I partied when I was like 14, doing our own thing. I'm in trying to find my own way because she just let me go. I was her only child. She let me go. I kind of like didn't pay no attention to what she said anymore and did my own thing. But it came back to bite me in the ass when I had my son, who's now 6 years old, getting ready to turn 7. And when he was born, he just had a lot of issues regarding his upper respiratory. So he couldn't have anything dairy, he couldn't have meat. I started doing more research on meat and dairy and came out to that they are the root of disease and disease. So over the period of time, I had my son wound up being intubated before the age of 3, was intubated more than 20 times,
Mhm.
and he was ICU'd more than 12. So I got tired of the medications they were giving me. I was like, look, if what y'all was doing was working, I wouldn't still be here. At this point, I need something to work, and this ain't working for me. And that's how I get. When something, I mean, I'm not down for doing insane shit. I'm not about that. If we keep doing the same thing and it ain't working, okay, what's the plan B? C, D, E, F, G. What we doing? What we doing? So they weren't giving me the answer that I needed. So I started doing more research. And he was born 2015, and it wasn't until 2017, almost 2018, and I really started getting into herbs real back heavy again because I already knew about them. I just had to reteach myself about them again and get to learn them. And because of that, I was able to take him off of his inhaler by putting him on some mullein extract, and we doing soursop, and just started learning about and just start growing these herbs. I started doing helping myself get rid of depression and anxiety that I suffered from for more than 17 years. Didn't even know I had depression and postpartum, which turned into depression and panic disorders and stuff like that. It got worse because I didn't know I had it. But once I knew what I had, what was wrong with me, then I was able to fix it. But ashwagandha, that's what I said. With ashwagandha coming out now, I said, "Child, I've been on the train with that one. I've been on that thing because I was ashwagandha crazy early in the morning. No, I was just like, that stuff will have you like at peace with yourself. That Damiana leaf, drink the tea, a burdock root, put that in there. Just so many different herbs that I would use just to get the inflammation out of my body, his body, and we just took meat and dairy out of our diets, and we became vegans. So I left it alone. I left the meat alone. On top of that, knowing what I know, seeing the visions that I would have, all that came together because I was having visions that eventually we're not going to be able to be eating these meat no more. That whatever's going on in this world, it's transitioning. I just kept feeling a shift. It was like this. So it wasn't like the full circle like this. It was more like a quarter. And then I would feel another shift, and then another shift, and then another shift. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. And I would see dreams and stuff. I would really start seeing what was happening. And that's when I started telling people, like, look, stop eating meat because it's going to come to a time where you ain't going to be able to eat meat no more. So if you make yourself fully dependent upon it right now, your body's going to have a hard time transitioning to it when you got to eat off the land. Start learning how to eat off the land right now. People made fun of it until a year and a half later, the vegan industry made what, over $70 billion. But everybody don't need no me. I was like, child, y'all love these plants. Come on, eat this. Get this grass and the salad dressing. But yes, it's good. It's good. And you start learning how to do different recipes, being creative. And again, start using your herbs because if you take that meat and you don't season it and you just throw it in the grease, it tastes like cardboard. But you got to add herbs and seasonings, right? So then if you just get you a meat substitute and you could use like a portobello mushrooms, something like that to do your protein substitute, put some seasoning on, you can have you a whole fajita. You ain't even missing no ground beef, no chicken,
I
none of
know
that.
that's right. I know that's right. I know that's right. I know that's right. So, and then but some of these meats and stuff that these, mystery stuff that they are bringing out, I question a lot of things now because I'm always thinking my my spiritual advisors, that's what I say, up in my head will tell me things like, tell people not to take don't get a flu shot, don't get a this, don't get a that,
Right.
because things are going to be hidden in other things, that other
Mm-hmm.
things are going to be, the way. And I'm like, yeah, organic. If they say it's organic, I'm thinking, but what did they put in it? They're going to make you pay more for something that they probably likely messed with. The best
Right.
organic is what you grow yourself, in your own, space, and put your own soil, and even if you can cover it, because you never know what's coming down,
Right.
from the air. But yeah, but there's a lot of things that we're going to need to maybe adjust ourselves to. So if you can, even if you're not a full vegan, but you're vegetarian, or you may eat like fish, you may be a pescatarian.
Right.
It's better than being so like this meat crisis right now. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
affect you
Right.
because we don't eat it like
Right.
that. We don't eat meat. So people
Mm-hmm.
are now like, what are we gonna do about the beef industry? And eat some plants.
Right.
Eat some vegetables, and
The
that's what.
alternative.
And then you got this guy I just saw who's actually a breatharian,
Mm-hmm.
and he lives on air. He's muscular and everything. He lives on he lives on air. He hasn't eaten. He took 20 years to build himself up to it, but in the last 2 years, he has nothing had nothing to eat or drink. and he's healthy because
Wow.
you have to, so we may have to learn how to live off of, vitamin D coming from the
Listen,
sun.
my mom used to tell me, you'll joke around me, when I used to ask her, hey, what's for dinner? Air balls and wind pudding. I was like, what is that? And she said, open your mouth. You just had your dinner. I was like, that's mean. You know what I'm saying? But seriously though, they have so many different things that you can get into now. They have, I know, have you ever heard of urine therapy? Called UT?
I sort of kind
We
of
have
heard of
OT, we
people
have 2T, oxygen
drinking
therapy,
urine.
urine
It's just
therapy.
like drinking their own urine type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
But you have
remember
to
hearing
be
something.
fully, yeah, that's dangerous. But
I would
let me
have
tell
to
you,
say the least.
considering how we eat and what we eat, and again, that's for us, it would be dangerous because our bodies carrying so much toxins that whatever is going to come through our body, that's going to be toxic. So if you're eating, you really have to eat raw and grow your own. And I mean, it wouldn't have, it could even be from the soil that came from your backyard. You would really have to create your own soil for that. I mean, it's a whole lot that goes into,
Well,
even
what's
goes
the
into that.
benefit of drinking one's own urine?
Some people actually do it.
I
They
mean,
feel
to what for what purpose?
to because they're not going to, in times of, I guess, famine, you would drink your own urine to replace what your body. Um, it's like giving your body more electricity by what you because what's coming out your body is not even toxic. It's supposed to be, I guess, like crystal clear water, like alkaline water almost, but you're supposed to be able to drink it. But your body got to be that clean, that
I
clean,
doubt very seriously that
like
most.
so clean to where you can't even put makeup on because again, your skin is your biggest organ, right? So, whatever you put on your skin is gonna go through your bloodstream, and whatever goes through your bloodstream, whatever you piss out, you're drinking on. So make sure you clean. But yes, some people who actually do that. I did study that for a while, and I was like, that ain't for me. So no, that's not gonna work.
Me neither. I don't think that.
For those who eat fish, though, those who decide they want to be the pescatarian thing, now here's the thing with that. Because of where we at in these times, everyone wants to do the fish thing because they want to get off the meat train. However, be very cautious with the meat with the fish train because these waters, that I've been telling y'all, are contaminated. They've been contaminated for quite some time and only getting worse. So what you're gonna do is you're better off eating farm raised. Hold it up. Listen, if you're so adamant about doing it, eat farm raised because right now a good salmon that's wild caught, it's full of parasites. There's nothing out there in those waters that's giving it flourish so where they can do their job. The mussels, the clams, the scallops, anything that's wild caught that's coming from them seas is contaminated. Don't touch it. You're better off eating something that was farm raised because it's being controlled in controlled waters. So the water is not contaminated. It's in controlled waters. You're better off eating farm raised fish. So when you look at it, if it's farm raised salmon and you gotta have a salmon steak so bad, get you one. But don't eat anything out because people are
Isn't
coming up.
that yeah? But farm raised isn't the issue with farm raised the fact of the how they have these fish and other seafood things all crammed together in what they in unsanitary what would be unsanitary situations. I mean, you can literally take something like palm, like the palm, like the palm leaves or the
Yeah,
what is it? You can make and you can and get some what do they call that stuff?
pomegranate juice,
No, seafood. I'm talking about the
the
seaweed.
seafood,
Like
or
no,
the
the
seaweed.
seaweed. You can
Um,
actually make fish substitutes. Like anything
you
else,
can.
you can make a vegan fish with I think they're called palm. I don't know if it's called palm leaf
You
or
can even
palm.
do a
It looks
vegan shrimp too, a vegan crab, a vegan shrimp.
right. I mean, I had a hot dog today with a chili dog that was actually a
They're
vegan
so good.
from Drop Squad Kitchen, which is like
Mm,
the best. It was the bomb, but it was it was all plant based except for
right.
I guess even the bread, but it was delicious. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I thought I was eating a chili dog, but I know it wasn't. It was a vegan. So I mean, we need to learn. I mean, there's a book I usually get the magazines Forks Over Knives. I got the book here, Forks Over Knives. My kitchen. I have to show you guys. I'm going to do a live from my kitchen, which
yes,
I do,
I
which
see
I
it.
do,
Get with
which
it.
Grant has turned. He has given me my HGTV kitchen. So I'm like, my neighbor came in here yesterday. He says, "Are you gonna cook that much food?" I said, "I might now that I got this kitchen like this." And
Yeah. Now you gotta have people over so they can eat it.
Yeah, or but I'm saying I could be more. I could explore the possibilities more, and when you have stuff laid out so that you can do things like that. But run into the store, buy stuff, you don't know how clean people are, or
Exactly. Everything's changing.
and then you got
Everything's
folks
changing.
that had this, and or whichever, and I don't think I want them working on food for me. I don't think I
Exactly.
know I don't. You know what I mean? I just I'm more leery of them than they are of me, probably.
Exactly, because they're shedding and everything else is coming off, and then we know what's going on with them now, and that's why I was saying like 3-4 years ago, start learning how to grow your own, because it's gonna come a point to where your backyard's gonna be your grocery store.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna come to. And I try to give people like a side way to do so, because a lot of times they don't want to do the alternative, the vegan option. They don't care. And they're like, well, if you just gonna go that far with the fish, then why don't you just go ahead and just get you a fish? I'm like, well, if you're gonna get a fish, just stay away from anything wild caught, please. Like, just stay away from it. I'm not promoting y'all to go ahead and get wild farm raised, because you just it's that's not real. But again, you guys eating the meat, and that ain't real either. So that's also farm raised as well. But
Also, I was
again,
looking at maybe possibly even doing a whole house filter system, because
mm,
I'm thinking, oh my goodness, people will say, well, I'll just use the water from the faucet and I'll boil it to make tea or do something, or you washing your dishes. But can you imagine what's going in the water systems now that all of these people have been compliant, when
yeah,
they're going, that this is now going into the municipal water system? And trust me, they probably don't have the chemicals that are going to kill that's going off, and everybody's, that stuff, you still have a certain amount of bacteria in the water and so forth. And so
mm,
so many things now, that we really need to be mindful of. We
mm,
don't know. We absolutely don't know how else we can be affected, by this.
right. They, with them trying to put the going into the waters to pull out the oil, because we don't have any more oil coming over here, and that's what they're trying to do, is go over and pull the oil out. That's another reason why there's so much contamination, because they're drilling in spots they ain't supposed to be drilling in, and there's you're talking about hundreds and billions of gallons of water, I mean of oil, getting through, dispersed throughout the seas. And this is what uh, the fish, and why you're coming seeing so many fish coming up on the land and just getting pushed out, because they're suffocating out there. They're not able to mate. They're not able to eat for themselves. They're catching all kinds of diseases through the just like the animals did. The animals out here, they're feeding people all this pork and all this meat and stuff, and they're sitting out here, and these animals got cancer, they got cysts, and they still eating these T-bone steaks. And I'm like, y'all don't really know what's going on with this meat, but
Yeah.
they insist on eating it. So
Yeah. Well, listen. Yeah, that's one subject, because like they're listening in on our conversation. I want to talk about more magic.
yes, let's talk about more magic. Let's talk about more magic. Now, let's get to it. Now, with more magic, let me tell you something that's about to get popping. Now, listen, I created this business almost 9 years ago, and I didn't know anything about more anything, nothing. Seriously, nothing. I really created this business because I was trying to be an entrepreneur, honestly. And so what I did was, the way I first created was just laid it out how I wanted business, to be able to help other businesses to get off the ground. And I was just trying to, the way I put it together, it was so bomb, because, again, I didn't even know that I was going to become, you couldn't tell me anything about no Moorish American. I didn't know anything about that, because I was so into Jesus Christ, you couldn't tell me nothing. Now, the way it's set up now, and how everything came together with me being a national, and being operating as a Moorish American, as a national, is I'm able to help other people when everything falls out. See, here's the thing: when I had took it to the Google execs 5 years ago, they was telling me that the this app was not ready for the world. The world wasn't ready for it. It wasn't. He said they're not going to make it. You're going to fall out, and we're gonna put all this money into it. It's just gonna go. And he said, once you start something like that massive and it falls out, it will take you billions of dollars to come back from that. And I was like, he said it's not gonna work, but hold on to it. It's a good thought. So that's what I did. I held on to it, and it wasn't until I want to say around summertime of last year, right before, right after I got into the temple. That's when I really started looking up for me as really getting back into what I had created and knowing that, okay, I saw the vision of everything crashing. I saw the money crashing. I saw businesses crashing. I saw everything going down. Now it's making sense because now I'm part of a said government. Because I'm part of a said government, there are things that I can do to where I can help uplift fallen humanity in a bigger way. So that's the reason why I'm telling y'all, when all businesses fail and they crash, you will need more magic to do business with. It's important for you to be an entrepreneur, get your LLC, your corporation, get your organization together, put it together, do it. Because you will be able to apply within the app, your business will be able to go into the app. You will set up your own profile. You'll be able to operate as I do. You will be able to travel. You will be able to do what you do in different countries. But I'm just licensed in California. That's okay. I got you. You'll be able to operate in Brazil if you want to. What? Yes. Yes. If you're in California, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a loctician, you're an esthetician, you're a herbalist, whoever you are, you can operate all over the globe.
Because of the app.
Okay. And this is through the app. So it'll be I'll go more and more and more into it as we get to it. April 2022 is the spring release date. We haven't got an actual date yet, but it's going to be in April. That's the goal line, and I'm excited because this is where we're here. Businesses are falling. We're losing. We need people we need doulas. We need doulas. We need doulas. Moor Magic needs doulas. We have people having babies, and people ain't gonna stop having babies. We need doulas, people, because guess what? No one's going to be able to go into the hospital because there's no nurses there. There's no doctors there. People have said no to not getting that shot. They're not going to get it. So what's happened? The hospitals, they're not going to be able to keep these people there because they don't want to pay the fines to keep them. So they had to let them go. Now what's going to happen? These doctors can have practices now, private practices, and they can work within Moor Magic, and they can travel because we need doulas. People are going to still be having babies no matter what the shutdown happens. People are still having babies, and we need doulas to come out because people need to know how to be able to birth a child. We've been dependent upon epidurals and shots and this and that. We're not going to have that no more. They're turning it from the vax to the unvax. They're turning us against each other. So, for those who don't want to get vaxxed and you want to be able to still be able to operate in business and still you do your thing, get your home-based business, get it cracking. Let's get Moor Magic up, get on Moor Magic, and let's get going. So you can travel and still be able to make your money. You will have a whole profile, just like you do on Facebook. You have a whole profile, people being able to see what you got going on, and you'll be able to travel. It's lit. Trust me, all the benefits behind it, it's lit. And the way I got you set up, it's super lit. No one's
Here's
ever
a
done
question here asking Shanita Dunn is saying, how can I get an LLC as a Moor?
No, you don't get an LLC as a Moor. See, that's what I'm trying to say. See, I operate in association. I'm talking about you. See, when you're a subject and you're not operating as a national, then no, you can't have what I have. But you'll be able to operate as I operate because you'll be in my business. So that's why I said get your LLC, get your corporation or organization because you're a subject. You're not going to be able to operate as a Moorish American. That's fraudulent. But you can work with me. I can do business with you. You can do business with me. And there are stipulations. So there are things that I can do to where you can still be able to operate globally, even with your organization, corporation, or LLC. Absolutely. I figured out how to do this. So again, like I told you, I am the first to do what has been done. No one has ever done this before. And yes, I take history and I put it back to mystery, as we supposed to do. I did that. So look out for it because here I come. So yes, you can also check me on IG. And I'm gonna tell you something. I had to redo my IG because they shut me down because I'm real big as a proactive for child sex trafficking. I'm really against it, big time. So they shut me down, and I had to do a whole new page all over again. So it's China Doll underscore Chung on IG. You can catch me on there. I haven't put anything back up because I just had to open my IG page because again.
Is that one word?
Yes,
CHINA
China Doll. Yes, it's one word. China Doll
underscore.
underscore Chung.
Okay.
Chung. So you can find me on there. And I'll be releasing information regarding Moor Magic coming out in April 22. You'll be able to see everyone that's going to be involved. It's amazing because we are global, everyone, and it's about to get real because yes, the shutdown is going to happen. It's imminent, and I'm trying to let you guys know to be ready because when that time comes, I want you to be as prepared as possible, considering everyone's not trying to get into the temple, so at least prepare yourself what's about to come. I know this ain't for everybody, and everybody ain't meant to go, but I definitely want to see you win financially. So you got to still be able to feed your family. So I can help you do that. You won't be able to operate unless you operate through an Asiatic. That's what the prophet told you. He said every industry is going to shut down one day, and when it comes back up, you will only be able to operate through an Asiatic. So, with that being said, I'm an Asiatic. You're not going to be able to do business through anyone but someone like myself, an Asiatic, a Moorish American who has proclaimed their nationality. That's what I mean by an Asiatic. I'm not just talking about the fact that you are an Asiatic, yes, but have you proclaimed? Are you in a said government? Are you a part of a partial of a said government? And if you're not, then you need to be part of one so that you can be able to operate as a national as well. It's a whole lot to this, but it's all law. And you start stepping to your rightful place of who you are. Myself, law and master. You got to do that, folks. That's what it is. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I want to thank you too because you're an investor. I mean, you're involved. I mean, we're in a couple of same things. I know.
Yes, I know. I love it.
Yeah.
So, get it, Dr. G. Look at
yeah,
you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in my retiring years, I have decided to, do some things, and I'm happy that the things now, 30 years later, 'cause I did some things, 30 years ago that I'm like, God, I don't believe I invested like that and never had anything happen, but in the last year or so, I've seen the tables and the tides turn with regard to that. And there are genuine opportunities out here. So I try never to bring anything to the people that I haven't done myself,
right,
first.
exactly.
And because I want to be an example. I don't want to just tell somebody, you should do that. And they're like, have you done it? Just
right, because they're gonna ask questions. If you don't have the answers to their questions, then you get caught up, and that's the easiest way to get caught a fraud is to be trying to tell somebody to do something that you haven't yet experienced, don't have the answers to, nothing, and you just passing on stuff. You don't even know if it's harmful or helpful, but you just
that's
passing on.
right. And Todd and I, Grant, and I talk to people a lot. He talks about the silver, and I hit the top of Quicksilver in 10 months.
Yes, we did. I was number 4 though, because Ricardo was number 3, and I was right underneath him.
Yeah.
I remember
so
that.
I was able to, and I just won a contest that I didn't know what was going on. I was embarrassed.
Oh, the September thing?
I didn't even know what was going on. And about the September 15th, because I've been so busy with other stuff, I said, I haven't even been doing lives about silver or doing anything. I know, they have a September contest. I'd even look at it to see what they're supposed to do. So a week or so ago, I said, I wonder who won. So I clicked on the final results, and that was me. And I was like, how did I do that? I said, and nobody did anything because I never told anybody about this. I'm like, I was literally embarrassed that I won because I didn't.
Oh, because you didn't pay attention?
Yeah, I didn't. I actually didn't, But
that's
right
a good
now,
surprise though, ain't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, I'm kicking out, this other thing that, we don't talk about because we can't. But I'm saying, OMG, Dr. G has finally found it. Want to know more? Just text invite me, and then they can find out what that is. But investing. I mean, I know you in the crypto space and you're in silver and other things. I mean, you're securing your bag, as they say, for the future. But a lot are saying, well, that stuff isn't what's going to happen with the reset and so forth. We're not going to, people are concerned about if they have finance in the bank. I was taking out a large sum just a week or so ago for that thing right there. And the bank kind of gave me, like, I felt like I was under an interrogation about my
Yeah,
own finance that I wanted to take
right.
out.
Because they're taking your money to pay back what they owe, and their interest rates are much higher now. They're in the 40 percentile now, where it used to be 1 to 2%. So exchange rate. So they're really, really high right now. On top of that, you've already seen how you got to claim you got to claim your money, report to IRS anything over 600. So
Yeah,
they're
well,
just
I
getting more and more
understand that that's what
invested.
they're pushing, but I don't think it has actually happened as a law yet. But I know
Well,
that
it's not
that's
a
what
law. It's just a policy. It
yeah,
ain't no
probably.
law.
And so I've been trying to figure out how I can get my stuff out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
So
you're right, because they don't want to give it to you because they don't really have it
they
to
don't have
give.
it to give. They
They don't have
really
it
are
to give.
robbing
So
Peter to pay Paul,
yeah, they
literally.
don't have it to give. And so
Right.
when you go to get your money, or your finances, your fiat, whatever you want to call it, they're
Hmm.
like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Do you know the
Right.
people?
They
Do
take
you
you
know
through
who's
all
gonna
this
make this?
questionnaire, and yeah, they give my
What is
money.
the purpose?" I'm thinking, you don't ask me a dang thing when I make these deposits.
Hmm.
You
Of course
don't
you're
ask
not.
me where it comes from. Now I gotta tell you what I'm gonna do with my finances.
See,
Give me my shit. Excuse me, but that's the way I feel. You
exactly,
know?
because you work for it, you want your
Right.
coins. But this is what I was saying. Like when the FDIC pulled out in 2018, was it 2017? When they pulled out, I pulled out because I knew then that my money wasn't protected, and I didn't have $250,000 in the bank. No, I didn't at that time. But hear me when I tell you, as soon as they said, because that's what they used to protect you up until that amount. So when the FDIC pulled out, I was like, okay, it's just a matter of time before this crash happens. Now I foresaw the crash happening, and despite what anybody who got a PhD, MBA, any of that, everyone wants to. I have heard people say cash is king who got MBAs and PhDs. So that's why I'd be like, miss me with the degree, please. That's so wrong. No, it's going to crash all the way out. Venezuela is already walking over their $20 bills right now, and it's going to happen for us. The prophet already told you that one day you're going to walk over a $20 bill, and it means nothing to you at all. Matter of fact, like I told you, you're going to be helping to get to the garbage because it's not going to be no use for it no more. But in its second sense, what you're going to do when it does crash out? Like, what's your backup? Okay, like are any of you doing crypto? Because if you're not doing crypto, you need to get into it. So what do you get into? I told you get into Ethereum, get into XLM, get into XRP, get into this. You know why? Because Ethereum is a decentralized cryptocurrency computer. So your money's decentralized and it's protected. Get into XLM and XRP mainly for those of you who don't really even do it. That's what I'm just saying. Because I can get into a whole lot of different other ones, but it's going to confuse you. But those main three, because XLM and XRP are silver and gold. You can't lose with that. They're assets. It's lawful money. Article 1, Section 10 told you that silver and gold are lawful money. And this thing that we got called fiat, that's legal tender. So there's no lawfulness in it. It has no law, no standing in law whatsoever. Get you some lawful money that's protected. And in the crypto world, it's protected. I told you where you can go. You can go to Coinbase, crypto.com. Crypto.com is one of the best ones that I use. And I always will say that because I can convert my money, even for those of you who are not in on other different platforms. It's a crypto wallet where you can convert back to your fiat. For those of you who need to go put your card in and pay a bill or pay your rent or whatever you got to do, you need a crypto wallet. You need to get out the banks, get out of the 401k plan. And for those of you who are working, you can't get all the way out the 401k plan. I know because a lot of jobs ain't gonna let you do it. So what do you say? You say you got a hardship. Tell them you got a hardship. You need to get 90% out because they're not going to let you take out 100%. So take out as much as they're going to allow you. If they're doing match and match, where you put in 15% and they put in 15%, then they're going to protect their money. 9 times out of 10, they probably have a clause in there that you didn't read that said if you were to ever take out anything on top of the 69% that you're going to pay back, or is it 59% that you're going to pay back from the IRS, which ain't even real no way, that the company is going to protect their amount that they put in, and you won't be able to get that part out. So if you've made $3,000, you really only have access to 1,500. That's what I'm saying. These businesses have learned how to protect even what they're giving you and matching with you in the 401k. So it's important to know what you read and what you signed, or what you didn't read and what you signed, because you probably just signed it because they had a little class and they told you to do this and do that. So, and they, oh, on this paper, this is basically what it says. Okay, go ahead and sign it, and then you sign it, right? You didn't really read it though, and then you put it up. It's probably in a drawer somewhere in your room. Go back and go look at it. It's gonna let you know how much money you have access to now, and pull it out now. What you gonna get with your money when your money comes in 10 days or 14 days? You're gonna get you a solar power generator now, because you need it. Why? Because we're getting ready to have a blackout, folks. We're getting ready to have a blackout, and we don't know how long it's gonna last. They say 10 days. My gut tells me it's gonna be much longer than that. Because what did Biden say? It's gonna be a dark winter. So guess how long is a winter? At least 3 months. It's about 90 days, right? Here comes the famine. Are you making it make sense? Make it make sense, because I'm gonna make it make sense for you. That's what I do. Yeah. So get your famine food ready. Get your sea moss, get your vitamins, get your herbs, get everything. Get your noodles, get your canned soups, get your water, because water getting ready to go up. Because right now you can maybe find maybe a case of 12 or 24, 2 for $7, maybe 2 for 10, depending on where you at, 3 for 10. After a while, a case of water gonna run you damn near $50. You think I'm playing? I'm dead ass. I'm serious. It's gonna get so bad, you're gonna wish you had a food stamp. So if you got food stamps and that's what you need to use, make it make sense. Don't pay for it if you don't have to. Don't kick out your STEMI on that. Kick out your STEMI on a power generator so you can still be able to use your refrigerator and your stove if you need to. Because y'all really going to be suffering trying to figure out how to get what's going to happen. So you've got to prepare yourself. Because y'all taking trips, and I understand you trying to get cute, and you are cute. But you broke because you ain't got nothing to hold you for the next time. And those pictures ain't going to be nothing if you can't even pull your phone up because you ain't got no power. Now you walking around here like you're in medieval times because you walk around here with candles. It's about to get cold, so you ain't gonna have no heat. So what you gonna do? Y'all better get ready. It's about to happen. He just told y'all to your faces. It's about to be a dark winter, and nobody's prepared for it. Everybody caring about what Nicki Minaj got going on. Don't worry about her because she ain't gonna be in the dark. She gonna be in the light with a couple of power generators. What you got? What's in your wallet? It's getting to that point. Yeah, it's to that point, folks. We get into the hemp world. Get into the hemp. If you can't get into the crypto, at least get into the hemp, because hemp is your next biggest commodity above gold and silver, believe it or not. Because hemp is going to actually pay for a lot of things. You can make a lot of things with hemp. You can make clothes. You can even make your house bulletproof. You can build a home out of hemp if you know what you're doing. Get the right contractors. So yes, hemp is your biggest commodity. Get into it. Get into it.
Wow. This has been absolutely an amazing 2 hours. I don't believe we have 2 hours. 3 minutes. Gosh. Shanita does it. Keeps it real. Yeah, she does. She keeps it real. That's why I love her too. She's I'm adopting you as another daughter because she's one of my newest daughters. So, but I love you too. So awesome. I appreciate you and your realness, and I appreciate the journey that I'm on now. And you're part of that, and that's a good thing. Just thank you so much. You and thank Brother Dwayne. Appreciate that.
Yes.
So we have to do this again because my hair is looking stupid. We have so much more to talk about. And would you come back? Would you come back again?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna get we're gonna get you back on. I mean, not next week. I'm not gonna make you come back next week, but we're gonna get you back. We're gonna get you back.
Okay.
Get you back. And we're gonna because I almost want to just like let you make pretend. I almost want you to get behind your truck. put your what do you call it? Your bonnet on.
Oh, the bonnet. We're gonna have a Bonnet Chronicles moment.
Bonnet Chronicles. That's a good one.
I can't be alone. I'm gonna need you to do one too. I can't be alone.
Look, I'll put my bonnet on. Look, a Bonnet Chronicles, because I'm gonna just sit there and go, yep.
And we have some tea. Add some tea. because I love the
there
tea.
you go. Me and my sister, Cynthia Martin, we've been talking about having an online tea party because I got about like 500 boxes of tea. I'm literally,
You too.
I got I got a tea fetish, girl.
I love my tea.
I got tea. I said I'm gonna send people a tea bag so they can have tea. They can make a donation.
I got cold brew, hot brew, however brew you like it. I got tea.
I got everything.
I got infusers.
Stop. I got look, electric teapot in the bathroom.
Okay. Oh, you are serious about yours.
Oh, I got teapot. I got tea. I got about 25 boxes of tea upstairs because just in case I want some tea. So
I know that's right.
I must have 500 boxes of tea. I'm serious. So, but I gotta get. I every time I buy another box of tea, I'll go. You know, this is a sickness, right? I tell myself, you sick. Because you already got tea
for listen, when that time comes, long as you got you a hot plate and something to boil that water on so you can make your tea, you good.
I went and bought me one of those things that you put the butane cans in a burner, and I went and bought one of those. But I think and like four packs of butane. But I'm gonna go get some more of the butane because it's like the size of a can of like this big, like a spray can of
like little small white cans.
They're like about that tall, so they're tall.
Oh, okay.
But they're not. They're shaped like they look like hairspray cans. That's what they.
Oh, okay. Yeah, be careful. They're flammable.
Well, I got them in the basement, But I'm gonna have some more, in the event that I need to be cooking on my new HGTT countertop.
Oh yes.
With that, because I don't
get into existence. Yes.
If the power goes out. Yeah. But spicy tangerine, she's because I said so, she says sweet spicy tangerine has become a favorite of mine. That sounds good. I don't know what it is. Is it putting some are you putting some
it's a tea, she said? Is it a tea?
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Oh, because
we were talking about teas.
We're talking about tea. Oh, help a sister out. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking to the tangerine. Okay.
I got you, sis. I got you.
Help a sister out. I think I got some tangerines. I mean, I've got brands that are in other languages. I'm like, I don't even know what they said except it had the heart on it, so I figured it was good for the heart.
For your heart.
Picture of a lung. But I'm serious. I don't even know what the writing is, like Russian writing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You gotta know what you. Please, sis, you need to know what you drink.
I know. But anyway, basically what you're saying though is that we need to get prepared, and you're such a well-rounded sister that I want folks to follow you. Your IG, her IG is China_Chung, and if you're on Facebook, if she have any space on there, she's got we have all the links. If you're on Facebook, you should see the links in the description of the show, and the same thing for YouTube. And I think that's about it, sis. I think
yes.
I think somebody asked what about coins. He was asking about like nickels and dimes and quarters. I mean, they're not worth anything but nickels and dimes and quarters. When you talk about silver and gold, we're talking about like 0.999 and up, in the content that has some, not only the face value but the melt value.
Well, I will tell you this though, as far as the coins go. Now with pennies, I have pennies over there though, but with pennies, any penny that's 1981 and before. So anything before 1981 is the stop date on that. Okay, so if you have a 1981 penny, that's a good. It's real copper. Anything before that, it's all real copper. You want to keep those. And of course,
84 or 81. Did you say 81 or 84?
1981 and before.
Okay.
It's real copper. So when you're going through your change, because when it comes down for payment of something, like how are you going to buy toilet paper? How are you going to buy the simple things that you need to exchange for just for survival? So if you don't have anything, stacked, no crypto, no change, how we used to have that big old water bottle full of money and go through it. You see anything from 1942 that's a dime or silver of any, that's when silver stopped. Anything 1942 and before, that's real silver. So if you got you a nickel, a dime, or a quarter, that's before 1942, you got real silver. Hold on to it. It's payment for something that you can need, and it'll be worth a whole lot more when the money does fall, when the monetary system falls all the way out. So that's the best way I can help you for that as far as coins go.
And they can reach out to you, right? On your IG page.
Yes, you can reach out to me on my IG page. I'll because I just built it back up. As far as I had to make a new one because they shut me down. After having it for like what 10, 11 years.
Wow.
So yes, yeah, I had so much built up, but I was putting a lot of information out, and I'm not going to stop putting it out, but I know how to kind of like critique it a little bit, so I can stay online for you all. But hear me when I tell you, nationality is always the order of the day. So I'm just putting everything out there so that things can start making more sense to you, so you can start thinking for yourself. Because when you start thinking for yourself, you're going to start asking the qualifying questions, which is going to lead to your freedom. I mean, that's the end result of what you want, right? You don't want to be a slave to the system no more. And me and the Empress Dr. G, we're angels. We come to you to bring you the truth. She has me on here to help you, and because she believes in me, and that's what we're supposed to do, believe in each other. And we're not supposed to tear each other down. We're here to build. We got work to do, like for real. And we're really, really far behind. So, we just gotta put the word out there that this is what we gotta do. And if you guys get it, let's get on board. Let's get it cracking because we got work to do. Like we really got building to do. Things are getting ready to happen. And there's so many people that are gonna lose simply because they're looking at me like, girl, you crazy. I'm just trying to help you out for free. I'm not costing you nothing. It doesn't cost nothing to get the word out, to try to help somebody else because somebody helped me. And that's it. That's really it.
Hi, sis. I appreciate you. I love you.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. I love you.
I'll have you back. Love you more. Have you back. And thank you all for being so kind in the chat, and I'm, like I said, I'm keep doing what we're doing and bringing this love and light and information to you. If you're out there and you have something that you want to share genuinely, reach out to me. I'd love to have you on the show. I mean, 'cause I'm looking, I'm begging people to please, come and be on the show. But people sometimes are afraid. I had a guest last week who was a viewer, and he gave a lot of awesome information because he does energy work. You know what I mean? So some of them out here have gifts and abilities, and this is a place where for free you can share and get your message out in the world. I reached out to our sister to be here today, but reach out to me if you want to be a part. Appreciate you so much.
And subscribe to Dr. G's channel, House of Reawakening Minds, folks. Y'all see me on here, but subscribe to the sis because we are here to uplift each other and we are here to bring life to each other. This sister's she's going all the way, y'all, for real, all around the world. And now, she going there.
All right, Chuck. We out. I know. Look, it's a little earlier over there than it is here. It's like 7 something here. It's 10:14 here. But thank you so much for
thank you. I love you. Peace, everyone.
Peace. Peace.
Peace.
Who's she? Yeah, that's me. Dr. G. Really? Who's she? Yeah, that's me. Dr. G. Really? Who's she? Yeah, that's me. Dr. G. Really? Who's she? Yeah, that's me.